Virtual reality games have always thought to be little more than novelties, but the platform has evolved at a rapid pace in recent years. The possibilities are endless. PlayStation VR players needn't worry though, there are a number of great VR titles out this year and beyond. Let's take a look at some of them here. Space Channel 5 VR, kinda funky newsflash. Available now worldwide, Space Channel 5 VR Kinda Funky Newsflash sees the return of space reporter / dance fighter Ulala. In an interesting twist, players take on the role of a junior reporter dancing alongside Ulala. You can dance through story mode, partake in arcade mode, or try to complete 100 dances in a row through trial dance. Even if it's essentially a fitness game, Ulala's return has been long overdue. Marvel's Iron Man VR. Camouflage's first-person shoot-'em-up has been delayed till May 15th, but it's still coming along nicely. The story sees Tony Stark battling against mysterious villain Ghost, who's using old Stark weapons for her own ends. It's up to Iron Man to set things right, flying through the skies and lighting up foes with repulsor blasts. It might not be the longest VR experience, but you are Iron Man, and hopefully that will be more than enough. Dreams. Media Molecule's Dreams is already available and garnering critical acclaim for the sheer range of things that players can create, but it launched without its VR mode, which could augment the creative process all the more. There's no word yet on when PlayStation VR support will become available, but it's currently part of post-launch plans. Paper Beast. The name Eric Chahi might not ring many bells, but the man is behind some stellar old-school platformers like Another World and Heart of Darkness. Paper Beast is an altogether different animal as players explore a world where copious amounts of data and algorithms have emerged to create new life. Various origami beings roam this fully realized ecosystem, and players can interact with them in different ways, like playing fetch, because why not? Paper Beast releases in Q1 2020 for PlayStation VR. After the Fall. From the team behind Arizona Sunshine, After the Fall is a first-person shooter set in Los Angeles in an alternate 1980s. The Ice Age has overtaken the world, an experimental substance has warped humanity into monsters called Snowbreed, and players must scavenge to survive. After the Fall features a variety of weapons and allows players to team up together to take on missions. Whether this is more than just Arizona Sunshine with snow zombies remains to be seen, but it looks promising. After the Fall is out this year for Steam and PlayStation VR. Eclipse, Edge of Light. White Elk's Eclipse, Edge of Light is interesting because it won several VR accolades for mobile. The story focuses on the player crashing on a strange planet, discovering a relic and gaining superpowers, which is certainly one way to kick things off. Though only a few hours long, exploring this surreal world with Andrew Prallo of Outer Wilds composing the soundtrack makes for a unique journey. Eclipse Edge of Light is currently available for PlayStation VR as of this past January. Humanity. THA Limited and Tetsuya Mitsugushi's Enhance have teamed up to see what happens when aliens simulate crowds of humans. The answer? We're not sure. Initial gameplay footage sees crowds of humans walking, swimming, climbing, snaking, yes, snaking, in hypnotic waves of, well, humanity without any rhyme or reason. We've seen hordes of humans fighting against other hordes of humans in dark shirts, so maybe there's a hook there. Humanity is out this year for PS4 with an optional PlayStation VR mode. The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners has received a lot of hype, and for good reason. Clobbering zombies in the head feels satisfying, but being able to save or brutalize anyone to fulfill your needs recreates the despair of the comic. Touted as one of the better VR games currently available, and undoubtedly the best first-person shooter in the Walking Dead universe, Saints and Sinners arrives in QT 2020 for PlayStation VR. The Walking Dead Onslaught. Another VR first-person title set in the Walking Dead universe, this one takes a more involved approach with its melee combat. You can dismember, carve, and impale zombies, and even grab them for defensive purposes, like throwing them into a crowd of other zombies. The story and setting is still up in the air, but we're intrigued by the gameplay. The Walking Dead Onslaught is currently slated to release this year for VR headsets on PC and PlayStation VR. Star Child. Announced way back in 2017, Star Child is touted as a cinematic action platformer. It tells the story of Spectra, who works with her ally to combat an alien force. We haven't seen a whole lot of the gameplay or how PlayStation VR enhances the experience, but the aesthetic looks good and the promise is solid enough for now. So release date when? That's the real question. HELLGATE VR. Remember Flagship Studios' HELLGATE London, an action RPG MMO that foundered almost immediately upon release? It's coming back someday as a VR shooter called HELLGATE VR. Developed by Skonic Entertainment, a leaked trailer from 2018 showcased some fairly straightforward shooting against monsters. There hasn't been many substantial updates since then, let alone a release date, but it's still in the works for PlayStation VR. Take that for what you will. Sniper Elite VR. Another VR shooter that's currently sitting in the further news pending camp is Sniper Elite VR. Developed by Rebellion and Just Add Water, it focuses a new campaign set in Italy during World War II. The infamous X-ray kill cam is here, along with free movement and first-person gameplay, the latter being a series first. The Sniper Elite series took a dip with the fourth game, but has since regained some composure with contracts. Whether Sniper Elite VR continues that momentum remains to be seen. GORN. Gladiatorial combat title GORN has already made its mark on other VR platforms as players cut through swaths of cartoonish enemies in an arena. The over-the-top violence, coupled with the ability to customize enemy size, armor, or whether everyone is a piñata, makes it worth experiencing. What's happening with the PlayStation VR version though? Developer Free Lives said in January that the release was just a few weeks away, so we'll have to wait a little bit longer for more details. COVERT. Heists are nothing new for video games, but COVERT takes the genre into the VR space with a twist. Over a roughly 6-hour-long journey, two players break into secure facilities as the thief and hacker, with the latter relaying info through a mobile companion app. You'll need to coordinate to open safes, bypass guards, and make it out alive. It's currently available for Oculus VR, but will be coming to PlayStation VR at some point. The Room VR, A Dark Matter. Fireproof Games' critically acclaimed Puzzle Room series is coming to PlayStation VR on March 26th. The Room VR: A Dark Matter isn't a straight port though. It's a brand new title set in the early 20th century as players investigate an Egyptologist's disappearance. That means traversing through tons of cryptic environments, piecing together riddles, toying with various devices, and unraveling secrets over 4 chapters. And that wraps it up. If you like what we are doing, please consider subscribing to our channel, and don't forget to switch on the bell notification icon. That way you will never miss out on any of our videos.